Oh, I'm Roger.
Roger. I see.
We're live streaming. Hey, this is Roger Struckoff of Cloud Expo TV. I'm at Cloud Expo. What do you think of that? It's day 2 at the 23rd International Cloud Expo here in Santa Clara, California. And we're joined now by EREZ BERKNER with Lumigo. Okay, we're going to talk about serverless. On the back of his shirt, he says he's a serverless troubleshooter. There you go. Why do you need to be a troubleshooter? Hey, welcome, by the way. Are there problems with serverless?
So there are challenges with serverless, like any new technology. And one of the main challenges, let's start with serverless is a great technology because it allows you a really pace of innovation that is unprecedented. At the same time, there are challenges like with any new technology about how do I actually use it? How do I manage to put that in production? And how can I understand when something goes wrong and fix it as fast as possible? And that's where Lumigo comes in. We basically connect to your serverless environment and tell you when something goes wrong and allow you to understand the business impact, the user impact of that, and how you should actually go about fixing that.
So I'm thinking when I first heard of serverless, I'm thinking that it's event-driven. How true is that?
That's very true. That's one of the main concepts of serverless. So it's event-based and you act according to events. So you don't need to have a server up and running waiting for something to happen. You don't pay for idle. That's the concept of serverless. So it's a very, very basic and strong concept in serverless.
Yes, I mean, there's a book written 10, 15 years ago called The Big Switch, where we try to view compute resources as water or electricity. So I turn this light off, I stop paying for the electricity. But compute resources is a little more complicated than that. I mean, it's serverless, though you are trying to pay for what you use. But that's a difficult challenge.
Yeah, I think it's electricity is a really good example.
Okay.
Because I'm connected all the time, but only when I plug something in, I start paying. And I always pay only for what I use. And that's really different than paying for like a rental of my house, even if I'm not using it. And that's a conceptual change in the economics of the cloud. And that's one of the main benefits of serverless.
I think of my car. At least I'm living in my house, and I go and I come back. But when I'm going, that's when I'm using my car, like 2% of the time. 98% of the time, it's just sitting there. And it's not consuming resources, but I'm still paying for it. And I spoke this morning about 25 years ago about capacity planning. And they've tried to get better and better and better. Now with serverless, your capacity planning is your usage, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I really like the example of a car. Because if we think about a car, you're right, you buy it, you own it, you pay for it, and you maintain it. So it's really much like a server. But if you think about serverless, where you don't buy it up front, you only pay for what you use, and you don't need to maintain it, you don't need to patch it, you don't need to do anything about it in terms of maintenance, I would think about it like getting an Uber instead of just buying a car. You just pay for what you want to do, and it happens.
Now, I mentioned event-driven, or what sort of applications do you see that people using serverless, and what are some of the big challenges that you have to come in and troubleshoot?
Actually, there is a variety of usages for serverless. Very common are things like IoT, because IoT has a lot of data you need to send to the backend, and this is very easy to process by event-based system, like you mentioned. Data processing is another very big usage. And we actually see many companies starting to do websites based on serverless as the backend. And actually on all of those, since there are business critical applications, you need to have a way to monitor and troubleshoot, just like you used to do in servers. It doesn't change. So just like you had your, let's say, AppDynamics or New Relic or Datadog back in the days, or still in your servers environment, you need to have tools for the new technology to do the monitoring and troubleshooting, and that's what Lumigo does.
So the troubleshooting, though, it seems like it's in real time. How do you work in something that is so dynamic, it's working in such real time like that?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and that's essentially one of the things that really makes it a new tool you need to use. This is why many of the existing tools doesn't work with serverless. What we actually do is we're able to map all the different services, all the different microservices in your environment, and tell you the story of the entire transaction, going through one service to another, from a Lambda to API gateway to another Lambda. And by that, even if they're running for just 5 seconds, we record that and we show you the entire story and all the information so you can actually understand what happened and troubleshoot.
So Lumigo, where do they find you? Website, social media, all that. How are they going to find you?
Yeah, so we're on lumigo.io on the website. We're a SaaS platform, so starting with the platform is very easy. You just username and password and you're in, and that's us.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching. For Cloud Expo TV, this is Roger Strokoff. Beautiful. Great. Good luck in your move. I'll watch you guys and see how you're doing.
Perfect. Thank you very much.